Welcome to the exciting sport of rock climbing. In this video, we will demonstrate a wide variety of techniques on the University of Washington outdoor rock, which has been used by generations of Seattle climbers. The skills one has mastered in the city can be applied to the mountains, whether 2,000 feet above the road or surrounded by glaciers. Rock climbing requires a mix of strength, skilled technique, balance, and mental fortitude. Face climbing uses features of the rock that stick out of the wall. This is the type of climbing most frequently found in gyms. As with all other types of climbing, both the hands and feet deserve equal respect. Notice how the climber not only looks at where she will place her hands, but also looks down to where she will place her feet. By positioning her weight onto her feet, she can climb efficiently and smoothly by pushing with her feet rather than pulling with her hands. By keeping 3 points of contact with the rock, a climber can remain stably connected to the rock while moving to a new handhold or foothold. Try not to reach as high as possible, and remember that small steps may be best. Hand grips may be open, such as on a sloping hold. These grips are less prone to tendon injury, but may not be as powerful as a closed crimp grip on a small edge. The thumb, stacked on top of the fingers or used in opposition, can add a lot of power. Footholds can be smearing, where the ball of the foot rests on the rock, or footholds can be edging, where either the inner or the outer edge of the foot presses on a rock edge. The inner edge by the big toe is generally the strongest. With practice, you will develop better foot-eye coordination. Down climbing is as important of a skill as climbing up and should be practiced too, as is shown here. On vertical or overhanging terrain, careful placement of the climber's center of gravity, positioning of the climber's hips, and good body tension can allow the legs to push the climber up, while using the arms mainly for keeping the body close to the wall. Face climbing opportunities abound outside, whether on desert cliffs or on big alpine walls. The mantle is a special technique to climb past a ledge where there may not be any holds above. First, the climber pulls with the hands and pushes with the feet to get high enough above the ledge such that the arms can push down on the ledge, much like doing a dip. Then the climber gets a foot onto the ledge. Flexibility is useful for being able to step higher. Once the foot is on the ledge, the climber can stand up on it, possibly using other holds to aid in balancing. Using a knee instead of high stepping with a foot may make further upward progression more difficult. Again, the climber is practicing down climbing. Note the bear hug with the hands. Many moderate blocky climbs require mantles onto ledges, such as the basic climb up the tooth. Several climbing techniques rely on the use of opposing forces. Stemming is when the climber pushes out with the legs to stay attached to the wall. Stemming can make balancing much easier and make steep ground not feel as strenuous. Often most of the body weight can be placed onto the skeletal structure of the legs, allowing the climber to move efficiently and rest his or her muscles. Stemming is a good way to get a no-hands rest. Greater flexibility enables wider stems. Good foot-eye coordination helps the climber deliberately and delicately move a foot from one hold to the next. Note that the climber mantled the finish and avoided using his knee. In the mountains, stemming often makes the climbing much easier. Lie-backing consists of pulling with the hands and pushing with the feet on a crack, flake, or rib. The climber shuffles up the hands, then the feet, then the hands, then the feet, making sure that they don't get too far apart, causing the feet to slip, or too close, causing the climber to pivot outward and barn door off. Lie-backing is very strenuous, and it can be awkward to stop in the middle. When choosing to lie back, the climber should plan when the next rest will be. Often other holds can be used to make the climbing easier while lie backing, such as with a stem or a back step. Lie backing is often the technique of choice in a corner, or when the crack is too narrow or wide to jam effectively. Another form of opposition is the undercling. The climber keeps the hands low and pulls upward or outward while pushing downward or inward with the feet. Often an undercling is used for one move to allow for a big reach, such as around a roof or past a blank section of a wall. On a roof, core strength such as abdominals helps the climber direct forces into the feet. The heel hook after the roof lets the climber push down with the heel and use body tension to push the body up, taking some weight off the arms. As with lie backing, sustained underclinging, such as when traversing beneath or flake or roof, can be very strenuous. Friction climbing is a completely different type of climbing, requiring much balance but little strength. If the body is too far forward and the weight isn't downward onto the feet will slip and the climber will fall. The climber looks for subtle features, such as dimples, ripples, or nubbins, to smear with the feet. The climber gradually oozes onto the next hold, shifting the weight there, before stepping off the previous hold. Having good stabilizing muscles in the legs helps with balance. With practice, one can ascend the slab without using hands. Slab climbing works best when the butt is in the air to direct the forces into the feet and into the rock. If the butt is too low or the climber too far forward, the feet will slip. Palming the rock with the hands greatly helps with balance and directing the forces into the feet and into the rock. The basic climb Kangaroo Temple has a short friction section. There are many climbs near Darrington that are primarily friction. The hand traverse is a technique that can use both opposition and friction to traverse a thin or narrow ridge. The basic climb South Early Winter Spire has such a section. Many classic ridge climbs have knife-edge ridges requiring hand traverses. Often the traverse isn't hard, but it sure is airy. Most